What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel, and the beer I'm reviewing today is actually a collaboration beer. This time between the Other Half Brewing Company, and they're out of both Brooklyn and East Bloomfield, New York, along with Washington, D.C., and the Mortalis Brewing Company, and they're out of Avon, New York, and this is their No Escape from Western New York. So they're calling this one an Imperial IPA that comes in at 8.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 1 month old. And I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a couple good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike, over at FLX Beer Reviews. In the description box, I will post a link to their channel. Great guys, great content. Check them out. And it was Dan who hooked me up with this one. And let me be honest with you. The theme, the label, everything, I'm loving it. So we'll give you guys a little bit of a closer look of that. That is fantastic. So I've obviously, you know, Kurt Russell's Snake Plissken character from Escape from New York, Escape from LA. And on the back here, it says, call me Snake, or on the back, on the bottom, call me Snake. So I just love everything about this. They're brewing this one with Strata, Motueka and Riwaka. Coming back to craft beer recently and having been out of like drinking craft beer for the vast majority of 2021, Strata and Riwaka, two hops that have kind of blown up, and I haven't had them a lot. So I'm interested to see how the combo with Motueka works in this one, but I am super pumped for this one if I could get it open. This one was brewed at the East Bloomfield location. Typically, you can tell, and this is what Dan told me, with the tabs on the cans, if it's black, it's the Brooklyn location, blue is the East Bloomfield, and green is Washington, D.C. So just for future reference. Anyway, yeah, that's pouring out like some Other Half juice. So I thought, you know, Western New York Wednesday, why not do a beer called No Escape from Western New York? And two breweries that are pretty popular in Western New York. Anyway, that pours out like so many other half beers, that deep, murky and turbid. And baby, look at the turbidity. So it's this deep orange color, yellow-orange color, kind of like a burnt orange color, a little bit dulled out, has about a finger of this off-white, creamy-looking head. It looks like an Other Half double IPA, 8.5%. Let's get a nose. Month old, and that is super vibrant. So I'm getting candied berry right off the top. I'd imagine that Strata, one thing I've noticed with Strata, of some of the beers I've had, has like a candied berry. A lot of people say strawberry. For me, I just get generic candied berry. That's what I'm getting here. And then there's this nice citrus blast of like lemon, lime, orange. Almost like I can taste the rainbow, Skittle-esque, because this is candied as well. Then there's this underneath really like green, fresh cut grass, dank, herbal type of note. It smells sweeter, but then you get that herbaceous dankness. You're getting this fresh cut grass, and like the aroma's kind of stopping it from being too sweet on the nose. Hopefully it does the same thing on the palate. Smells fucking awesome. Like I said, it smells like it's going to be sweet. Like getting a lot of candied fruit notes in this one. So typically when that happens, more often than not, with a beer like this, I'm going to get probably sweeter malt characteristics to it. Not actually, you know, tasting the malt, but just because it's sweeter, 8.5%. Probably some lactose in here. Who knows? They didn't list it, but could be. But anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again to Dan. That's delicious. And that candied fruit note, it's almost like Skittle-esque or like Starburst-esque. Body on this one's higher side of medium body, 8.5%. I expect that. Almost approaching a low full, little half tier. Mouthfeel, soft, smooth, creamy. It's not like an upper echelon Other Half type of mouthfeel, but it's approaching that. It's definitely a really nice mouthfeel, kind of what you expect from this style. Even though you say Imperial IPA on the label or Imperial India Pale Ale, this is in the, you know, New England double IPA realm, right? But tip of the tongue, I get hit with berry, and I would say it's more of a distinct strawberry. So first time I've gotten that with Strata. As it passes through, I get lemon lime, I get orange, a little bit of grapefruit, and again, candied-esque version. So it's kind of like more in the Starburst range, where you have the strawberry Starburst, you have orange, you have lemon. You're just missing the lime instead of the cherry, but I wouldn't want that in reality because the cherry ones are delicious. But kind of in that realm, like a Starburst-esque kind of candied fruit vibe. First half of the palate. Mid palate to the finish, that's where that fresh cut grass, dank, herbaceous, almost like a slight basil, but more of like a fresh cut grass type of thing's hitting. It finishes mild to moderately bitter with a semi-dry finish. This leans a little bit more sweet, but I think if you take the semi-dry and like mild bitterness and combine it with that fresh cut grass and like dank herbaceousness, I think it balances out enough for someone like myself to say, okay, I can drink that can and it's not going to be too sweet by the end of the 16-ounce can. Yeah, really, this is really delicious. It's not like amazing, but it's one of those beers that, like, as I drink it, yeah, it's not super complex. Candied fruit with some of that fresh cut grass and dank herbaceousness. Pretty much 3 characters, although you can break down the fruit to, you know, a bunch of different fruits and whatnot. But this is one of those beers that doesn't need to be super complex to be quite tasty, and I'm really enjoying this one. So No Escape from Western New York, the collaboration between Other Half and Mortalis. I'm going to give that a high 4.25 out of 5 and go 4.35 out of 5. Almost gets to the low 4.5 range for me. I just think I would see a little bit better mouthfeel. Again, mouthfeel is really great, but it could be amazing. And a little bit more complexity. Again, this doesn't need to be complex to be great or even very good or whatever, but the complexity in this one would take it to another level, which would be in the 4 or 5 range. But it's still really good. Yeah, real good. So price point, I believe these were $20 a 4-pack, somewhere in that range. So typical going rate for, you know, 8.5% New England style double IPA. That's pretty much the going rate almost everywhere, especially bigger, hyped, and well-known breweries. Availability, who knows? I know this one was obviously brewed out of the East Bloomfield location. Other Half's all over the place now. A couple years ago, I was like, oh, if you don't go to the brewery, blah, blah, blah. Here we are 2 years later, and they're all over the place. So if you've seen this one outside of New York State, let me know. If you're, you know, any other state in the U.S. and you have seen this one in your area, let me know. I'd be curious to see what distro was on this one if it did move out of New York State, because it's a really good beer, and I'd be curious to hear it's everybody's opinion, but other people outside of the state, just because, again, I don't know full distro for them, so it'd be cool to hear. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, and like, you know, I like this beer a lot, and it's a lot of fun, but I really can't wait to try more beers with Strata and Riwaka. I'm going to see what they think. I feel like the Riwaka's adding that lemon lime here, and the Strata, the candied strawberry. But I want more like single hop, and I do have a single hop Riwaka beer from Other Half, courtesy of Dan, so can't wait to get into it at some point. Anyway, thanks to Dan and Mike, specifically Dan on this one, but Mike too, because Mike's a great guy. Check out FLX if you haven't. Like I said, description box, there will be a link to their channel, and I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. I didn't mention the 8.5. Yeah, there's a little bit of warming into the chest, into the stomach, but like nothing on the palate, so 8.5%. Very deceptive beer until you probably drink a couple of them when you're on your ass. Yeah, that's it. We're done. Shutting down. To the next one. Cheers.